Good evening, everyone. Finally, we are doing another live session, and I just need to tune the stream so that they can see what you're commenting on the YouTube. Okay, it seems to be working, and let's adjust a bit camera because you see a lot of stuff which is unnecessary, I think. So, where we left off, frankly speaking, I am not even sure where we left off because I had quite, I would say, busy weekend, and therefore there was almost no time to work on this airplane. So we are going to refresh what we did here on this airplane. So we have Tempest. What we did, we installed tail wings elevators. We also installed the ailerons from both sides. And now I would like to do is installation of the rudder. But rudder installation is not that simple. Why? Because it should be glued out of several parts. As far as I can see, we should use part E17 first. So part E17, just give me a second to get it. So it should be on our favorite E sprue. And E17 looks like this. So here it is. This part will be actually holding the rudder in place. So now I just need to sew it off and we'll install it into the onto the fuselage. Okay. So week was really busy. I would say even more than busy. But I was happy to get several things which will noticeably improve quality of our video reviews, and you will see it. And of course, it couldn't be possible without your help. So I really appreciate it, and thank you guys, especially those who actually send us some money on our PayPal account, because it was really helpful for our purchase, let's say. Okay, so here is a part in the place, and now we are going to fix it with extra thin glue because actually we don't need any movement here, so we will just need to fix it in place straight away. That's why we apply extra thin glue, which just freezes part in place without any extra issues. So now I'm just going to align it a bit so that it won't look ugly or strange. Okay, let's apply a bit on the top so that it will be frozen, let's say, or fixed in place there as well. Okay, so I will let it dry a bit, and meanwhile, while there is nobody of you watching, I will go get the sanding stick so that we can sand the fuselage even more. Just a second. Okay, so here it is. And I have to say that during the time I got several interesting things which will be helpful for this build. First of all, I have to mention that now we will be using the AK Interactive paint set for rough camouflages. It should be quite easy to use. And as AK Interactive claims, it helps you get the more realistic shades. So we will see if it's true or not. What I'm trying to do now is to send off the tab which is left from the attachment point. I don't want to have it, obviously, so that's why I have to carefully send it until it goes away. The main issue here is that we also have the riveting pins on the fuselage, so that's why it's not as easy as it might seem to be. But it slowly goes away, so I think we'll more or less succeed in this in no time. The most important thing here is to check your results. I mean, if you're sending constantly, you have a chance to miss the point where you will be fine. You just send fuselage further and then you have a problem. So, okay, here on the fuselage belly, I would like to do the same. And then we'll return to our rudder. I hope I will be able to finish the Tempest until Spielwarenmesse, because otherwise it will be a bit difficult to work with all stuff from Spielwarenmesse. There will be a lot of interesting things, I suppose, so definitely I will be a bit busy with bringing all this stuff online, and I hope that... Hi, Chancellor! Yeah, it was good weekend and it was cold weekend because I had to go to fly actually to Moscow, so they had plenty of snow there. But what's funny is that in Moscow it's warmer than here in Prague. I was quite surprised. They have more snow, yes, but the temperature and there is no wind. So it was more comfortable, I would say. What did you finish on the Mi 4? That's also interesting to know. As you can see, I'm going progressively from 1 to, it's already 3rd layer, and then we will be going to the 4th one. 4th one is here, so we are going to buff a bit. Thank you for the like, by the way. Okay, it seems pin went away, so just a bit more buff. Then we go with, what is that? Again, buff. Actually, before we were evening out, and now we are buffing the pin in order to get the smooth surface. Yeah, now it's better. And now we are going with polish. They think that will be more than enough for this. It looks fine. I think we'll see how it goes with primer. So let's just not push it too much until we have some problems with surface. With this, I'm going to scrape it a bit. Okay. And then we go again in the same order. So 2. Now 3 here. Now 4. Now 5. I won't be doing polishing because it's not that necessary in my opinion here. Lucky you! Decaling already. I wish I would be able to decal this aircraft, but it seems like it won't be too soon. So, okay, what I'm doing now is removing the extra bits of plastic. As you remember, we were using the extra thin glue, so that's why you just scrape a bit all those excesses of plastic, because otherwise it will just look ugly. And I'm going to sand a bit with sanding stick in order to get a bit more convincing edge. Okay, now it seems to be fine. Maybe a bit here. Okay, clean and nice. And now we do the same with this tail wing. So as you can see here, we have less plastic, so it will be easier. Still, I'm going to use the sanding stick in order to get a proper joint. Okay. I don't like what I have here, so I'm going to sand a bit more. Just a small reminder, those who are watching, don't forget to switch to HD quality, because it will be a way better image. Okay, now I need to sand a bit here. So again, we take the first level, sand straight away. Did I say that I hate the connection pins? Well, I did know. By the way, the new trailer of the John Wick is quite funny. I'm absolutely looking forward to this movie. Even though it seems like, I mean, it will be really difficult to surprise. Still, it's worth going just because of Keanu Reeves, of course. So you shoot also the build videos, or what do you do with your projects? Okay, seems to be more or less fine. Now we go with 3. Okay, now we go with 4. I just need to clean it a bit. Okay, now number 5. Okay, it looks more or less fine. As far as I can see, it's quite smooth. There is no edge. So let's hope it will turn out fine. And now we can sand off the wing edges. Cool. Okay, I'm just cutting off the extra plastic. And also here. You see, the problem with cutting extra plastic is that you can accidentally damage the part. So what I'm doing now, I'm trying to weld what was damaged. Actually, glue helps like to melt plastic a bit so that you can manipulate really tiny bit, but it still helps. Hataka paints. How are they? Do you like them? Because I hear mixed feedback about these paints, and I'm not sure if they're as good as some others price them in modern magazines. Okay, here, and now we go here as well. Okay. Okay. So I can cut a bit here. So we dry glue a bit. I'm not sure, my stream is frozen. I am not sure about yours. Okay, now I see everything. Okay. What I would like to do is to film several things separately so they won't be online and publish them as a separate build reviews, because I mean these sets really deserve such treatment. And I mean these are bracing kits for this model, so maybe we will be doing live reviews for some days, for several days, because otherwise it will be impossible to get the time for shooting the build reviews with bracing kits. Okay, and also here. Now it seems more or less straight. Edge looks fine. I would like to send a bit more here. Okay. And what else? We also have quite tricky part here in the tail section. So here I decided to use the sharp knife, because otherwise it will be really headache to remove this extra plastic away. Okay. Okay, now from the other side, just give me a second. Do the cuts really in minor movements, I would say, not to cut with an extra, because it will be really set. So now I'm going to smooth everything with extra thin glue. I'm using it because it will actually melt the plastic and join the parts better. Okay, so we have it ready. I will place it like this, because now we need to cut the rudder, and rudder should be glued out of several parts, because there will be also holders. And first should be installed rudder, and then we install the holders, but rudder is a part number F2. Here it is. By the way, quite nice picture overall when everything lies like this. So I'm going to sew off this part, then I'm sewing off this part. Okay. Almost all plastic parts are already used. There are just several minor ones left to be installed, but that's pretty much all. Which is cool, since that soon we will be able to work on the camouflage. So here you can see how tail segments go inside. Actually, completely no issues. Everything sits nicely. And I like the fitment. Now the only thing we need to do is to put the really tiny drop of the extra thin glue into the slots where those connecting pins will be installed. So what I'm going to do is to apply extra thin glue here. Okay. Now we just insert this part here. Do it really fast because otherwise you lose the timing and it will be not that cool. And as far as I can see, we have problem with Fuselage Hub because it just, let's say, unglued itself. So let's apply a bit extra thin glue. We press it. We should be good to go. I decided so for the next stream, let's do that. I will have some drink and we will do the poll which drink to have. And for any, for every like you press or I get from you, I will be taking a sip of this drink. So it can be anything and you will be voting what it will be. Okay, so next part is A8 and A8. So I'm just wonder where is this part because I'm not sure what is the A sprue. Just give me a second because it looks like my guinea pig's going crazy. It looks like the old one is not happy to share the heater with young one, so that's why there was a noise. That's strange because I have really good connection and I see that my stream doesn't freeze. So I guess just YouTube acts funny with us. Okay, so now I have to understand what is A sprue. A sprue is actually transparent sprue. I'm not sure why transparent sprue is used for the tail segment parts. So just give me a second. I'll take it out and we'll apply this A8 part into the place. Okay, so A8 is here. You can see it. No, I had the same problem just a moment ago. So who knows, maybe YouTube doesn't like my stream. So I have to build something different, I guess, so that they like me. Okay, so this part should be installed in a quite interesting way. Why? Because, wait a second. Actually, everything is all right, but I just have to understand where those clear parts go. Because as far as I can see, they go here into this area, and I'm not sure why it wasn't molded like this since the start, let's say, but who knows what was the reason. So now we are going to try to insert it on the dry feed. And these parts are absolutely identical, so you can't, let's say, mix them. And I think that's a nice feature of this section. Okay. So what I just did, I cut off the excess plastic from the connection point because otherwise it won't fit properly. And now we are going to install this part in place, of course. So let's use the left-handed mode. Okay. That's the beauty of modeling, is that it teaches us a lot of things which you actually won't do in real life. I mean, come on, who will be doing something with their left hand? Here you can see how this clear parts goes into this area. But modeling actually pushes us to use our left hand, then use our teeth and something else. Because otherwise you just can't fit some parts into your kits. Okay, I'm sewing off the second part. No pressure, because otherwise it will fly off the table and it will be quite funny. Okay. And here I also cleaned the part. It is quite tiny, there are no spare parts, so be sure not to lose it, because otherwise you will huge problems. It is quite visible element of the aircraft assembly, so I do not recommend to lose it. Definitely try to keep it in your kit in order to have a nice result. Okay. Oops, it just took off. So I'm going to refit it. And maybe apply a bit more glue, because otherwise it seems like not fitting into the necessary area. Okay, now it seems to be in place. Let's put it off to dry a bit. And what I'm going to do next is to install the landing gear doors. Actually, not the landing gear doors. I would like to use the canopy parts. Wow, somebody is flying there. I was just listening to this sound. Okay, it's part E6 together with A6 and A5. And this one will be really funny, because parts should be applied under the angle. So we need the part A6, it's somewhere here. This one, I guess. Wait. No, first it's E3, so I was right, this one. But what I will do, I won't separate it right now, because we should apply the parts A6. There are double of them, or let's say pair of them. And why I'm not separating this part? Because I need it to be fixed. Otherwise it will be really tricky to get the A6 in place. Here you can see them, really tiny parts, so be careful. And now I just need to take a look in order to understand how they will be installed, because I don't see any alignment point for these parts, even though they should be glued under the angle. So it is quite funny situation, I would say. I just need to understand how it will be done. Even though, as far as I can see, it won't be, let's say, working as a structure parts. still it will be set to install them in a wrong position. So that's why. And they will have to be painted in super chrome. So that's why we have to be careful with those tiny bits. I mean, they're really small, you can't even see them on my finger. And now we are going to try to apply it onto this part, on the E part. I'm not sure if I understand properly what should be done, because as far as you can see, I think the end which is connected is actually the end to install it onto this plastic part, as you remember, where is tweezers 2, and now we will try not to lose it in our surroundings. Okay, it should be installed here. One seems to be fixed in place. Hooray! And now we go with the next one. So next A6 part, it is here. I'm going to sew it off as well. Just be sure not to apply excessive pressure, because otherwise you'll have some funny time with those parts, especially trying to replicate them carefully. So that's why I just lost it, but I see it, so it's not a problem. Okay, so second try. To press really hard on this part, because otherwise it will just fall. Okay, seems like it fixed in place. Thank you for second like. That's cool. And I see these parts are fixed in place. Now we go with 5, I guess a bit bigger. Yes, here it is, this part. Now I'm going to sew and to install it where it should be. But if it's target side, then it should be transparent, right? Almost easy to use target side. So now I'm going to clean it off. Side, I find out what is this exactly. So nothing personal. And now we are good into the special hole. This part actually has a hole. So this one should be on the top. This one should be on the bottom, just like this. So the bigger end is on the top. The position pin. Now starts the funny time, because okay. So it will be really funny. But what I would like to try to do is to understand first is, where is this installation point? Okay, it's here. Now we would like push it onto the installation slot like this. So a finger suspended, and now just a small push, and should be fine. Okay, it is fixed in place. Now small portion of the extra thin glue, just to be sure that it stays in place. Now I apply a bit more when I remove my finger from the part, so that there won't be any fingertip left. And small reposition of the part with tweezers. And we'll leave it to dry a bit. Okay. I would like to show you this part because, because it's really funny sub-assembly. So here you should be able to see it. Just let me focus the camera. Now you see it. So all this stuff is better to do like I did on the connection point, and then you just separate the part with fine saw. Next part is the cockpit cover. Because as you remember, cockpit won't be just an empty hole. It will be covered with a special panel. Here it is, this part. So what I'm going to use is a sprue cutter. Okay, here and also here, because otherwise it would be tricky to do it with a saw. And also here. Okay, so the part is separated. And now I will clean it off with my sharp knife. Okay, and also here. This part should be actually black, and then here you have a camouflage color. So it will be the first one to get a camouflage shade. But I will do it not today because it's already late, and I just don't want to terrorize my neighbors with the sound of my air compressor. I know we all want to have it fixed in place ASAP, to close the canopy, to apply masks, and go with the primer cover, but it's not as easy as it might seem to be due to such limitations. Okay, so here we have this part more or less cleaned. I'm not sure about this bar. As far as I can see on assembly manual, it should be left. So be sure not to break it away, because otherwise, just as I wanted, I thought to clean it off. But I do not understand how it should be fixed in place with this bar, That's the question. Just give me a second. I guess I should clean small amount of excess plastic on this bar, but it will be really funny. Why? Because it is thin and you can easily break it away even by scraping the knife on the surface. But it went fine. So now we are going to try to do the same operation once again. I'm not sure how it should be installed, because it goes directly onto these parts. And then it should be pushed here. This part is pushed here. Okay, I see more or less the fitment, but I think it should be done when the part will be ready for installation, because otherwise you just have a problem with painting. So we'll put it aside. And the only thing I would like to do is to fix this target side here inside, because it will be there. And then it will be, whole part will be covered with primer, and then prepared to be painted. Okay, carefully sand it off, sawed off the part here. So let's clean it a bit. Even though it will be barely visible, but still I would like to scrape off the excessive plastic. And then we install it here inside. No, it will be visible, so I was right to clean it. And now we install it with placement like this. So, okay, first try is wrong. So I'm going to take it by the target side and throw it away. Okay, where it's supposed to be. Don't try to get exactly to the spot because this extra thin glue, it moves easy, flows easy, so there is no problem with getting to the part. The problem is when the part tries to go with the glue brush, then you have really huge issue. So it's better to be safe. Okay. And one more time gluing here. So here is cover, but I'll put it aside. It has to be dry before the painting, so I won't be touching it right now. And just let me check parts E36 is a gun barrel cover for the wing. And I'm just going to cut it off like this. E36 goes to the left wing, actually to the right wing. So let me clean it before the installation, because otherwise it will be really difficult to get to this attachment point. And again, I do not understand why the attachment point is placed right on the leading edge, why it wasn't placed, let's say, inside or on the edge. It would help us avoid unnecessary issues with cleaning and separating the part. Okay, I'm scraping off the excess plastic, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, it looks nice. Now we install it on the wing. So as I said, it's the right wing. And it should go. Even more funny is that attachment point is on the visible part. I mean, it's not on the bottom of the leading edge, it's actually on the top of the leading edge. So we just end up with really funny loop. Okay, so now I'm trying to push into the wing. Okay, it seems to be fitting more or less okay. Of course, I'll add extra thin glue for fine fitment. The same will be done on the bottom. Okay. Now we just push it a bit in order to get the right fitment. Okay, so one barrel is in the place here. And now we go with another one. Okay, sprue cutter, like this. Okay, clean the attachment point. Seems to be fine, but I will scrape it with a knife edge in order to get more or less a smooth finish. Okay, there is still a bit of excess plastic left, so I'm going just to cut it off. Okay, now it's clean. It looks nice. So we're going to install it into the wing. Here. It's not as easy as it might sound, because fitment is really tight. From one side it is good because, for example, you heard the click, so now it stays in place, and actually I don't even have to bother myself with the glue. From the other side, it's really tricky stuff to work with. So just give me a second to apply a bit of glue in this joint. Then we apply glue also here in this joint. Okay, so as a result, we have this aircraft. So I think that's enough for today. Almost 1 hour session. I would like to thank you for joining today, because as you can see, we are just let's say getting back into the saddle, and long weekends are long weekends. We all know this. Nevertheless, I would like to thank you for joining. Thank you for pressing the like button, because it helps us greatly. So if you will be watching it later, also don't forget to press the like button. You can also help us by donating on our website. There is a button, donate us. It is done via PayPal, so it is safe, and you will decide how much we will get. Of course, I will see you in the next video as usual. It will be maybe a live session, maybe a video review, but we will see each other tomorrow for sure. And once again, I would like to thank you for watching. You are all great.